Hello, welcome to AVID Perception Podcast. We got our host today, Mr. Brian. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Good to see you, and very good pleasure to one of the people that we sparked the different conversations going through this, like different meetings in Bitcoin, the group of
Right.
us, and we kind of related on a lot of like concepts of like love and self belief and
Yeah, I mean, I've only met you a couple of times, and I
yeah,
thought you were like very positive, very outgoing. It
yeah.
was the opposite of me. Like, it was actually very difficult for me to go to the meeting, the first meeting,
Uh-huh.
because I'm more introverted. Like, I'm pretty good one-on-one, but in a group, it's difficult. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna talk to these people
Yeah.
and see what I can learn, and it actually was enjoyable. Like,
Mhm.
I was surprised. Like, I talked to you. I think I talked to Aladdin, talked to a
Mhm.
couple of the other guys there, and I was pretty surprised that I liked it. Like,
Mhm.
most of the time I dread it, because it's difficult, like, to make chit chat and like,
Yeah.
it's, I guess because it's something that I'm interested in. It's I wanted to learn more and see what other people are thinking about it, because
Yeah.
normally you're just talking online, chatting online, and you meet people, but it's not the same. It's not the same connection. Like,
Yeah. I
I,
mean, it's pretty interesting to find people who actually have that vibration and energy
mm-hmm,
of like supporting and
mm-hmm,
loving and enveloping that auras of like you're welcome,
mm-hmm.
World. Yeah.
It's too cold. Yeah, I mean, it's impersonal online. I mean, but it has its place. Like, I find myself meeting people from all
Yeah.
over. I talk to a lot of artists and things, and they're like in France, Italy,
Mhm.
Europe, just different. It's you don't know until after a couple of interactions that I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, where are you actually? What part of the world are you in?
Mhm.
And it might be the middle of the night for them and morning for me, and so that's always
It's
interesting
pretty good.
to learn what their process is. And even, for example, I wrote a book, about NFTs,
Mhm.
and so one day, on Twitter, a guy just posted an image. He took my book cover and made it into a larger 3D 3D image,
Okay.
like so like Pepe the Frog, the green frog.
Yeah.
So he made a frog sitting in a chair with a nightgown and slippers, reading my book. And I go, wow, that's so amazing! Like,
Mhm.
thank you for doing this. Like, I didn't know him. He just tagged me, and I said, I have to have this image. Like, can I buy it from you? And can I use it for advertising or
Mhm.
kind of promotion? He goes, oh yeah, of course, you can, whatever you want, because,
Nice.
and it turns out that he's like an engineer in Moldova,
Uh
or
huh.
somewhere near Russia, Ukraine,
Eastern
Russia,
Europe. Yeah.
Eastern Europe. And he goes, I'm an engineer, but I'm
Wow.
very poor. And I go, oh, that makes me so sad that you're a highly educated person and
Yeah.
uh, you're not able to earn what you deserve, what you're
Wow.
worth. And he goes, oh, I don't like to talk about it. Like, I don't want to talk about conflict. I only want to talk about happy things
I love.
and frogs and love. Like, I make all these little things that make me laugh and make people happy.
It's good
So I
outlook.
so I ended up teaching him how to use that platform, the Bitcoin
The Bitcoin platform.
counterparty is what it's like a
Nice.
second layer to Bitcoin.
Okay.
So I took his art, I tokenized it, right? Made it into an asset,
Oh, an NFT.
an NFT
Nice.
on Bitcoin. I gave him one, and I sent him some money. I just sent him some Bitcoin. I said, here, I just want to give you like $40, $50.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then I asked him if I could give it to the people that buy my book, and he goes, yeah, of course. So now if someone buys the book, I send them that NFT, and it's just because he wanted to make it. He's learning that software, the 3D software, the
Yeah.
modeling software. So he goes, this is a good topic. Like, I like Pepe. I like different memes, meme tech culture. So he uses those images to teach himself how to make these, use that 3D program.
That's beautiful of you. But
Yeah.
also, without introduction, what book did you write? I didn't even know
Oh,
about that.
so it's right here.
God bless. I mean, I'm gonna take a professional
Oh
picture. We're
yeah.
gonna put it up here.
So
But
so
let's actually use the camera. Yeah, let's
yeah.
put it into. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's get which one.
Something
Let's
that I
see,
was interested in, like I was saying, it runs on Bitcoin, So it's a historical project called Rare Pepe. It started in 2016.
There we go. Okay.
And so it's just a group of artists that started playing around on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Very nice.
And they started making these images, posting them, and saying, hey, do you want to buy one or do you want to have one? And so they would trade them amongst themselves. But I didn't find out about it until later, much later, like just maybe a year ago. And I just thought, well, there's 17, it's a project, there's 1,774 images, and then it's closed.
Okay.
So they started collecting images. You would submit them to like a board, like they were called the scientists, Rare Pepe scientists.
Okay.
So they would take these images. They would say, yes, I like this one. This one's going to go into the project.
And it's all about that character of like Kermit the Frog. Okay.
But it would be like political cartoons, like movies, characters, food, alcohol, just different settings, like. And so they built them into these series 1 to series 26, I believe. And then they just stopped. They closed the project. They said, no more images. And so it's just a historical set. 2016, 2018, that was when it happened. And so now people are kind of learning about it.
Okay.
Because everybody has Ethereum NFTs, but they don't realize that there's NFTs on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so now they're starting to find, like, there's games on Bitcoin. There's all these old images.
It's growing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. And so it was just something like, I saw them and I thought, I think they should be organized in a certain way. Like, I would like to see them in groups, in little categories. And so that's how I developed it.
So 26 categories?
No. So like if you have the way they were organized is series 1, series 2, series 3, but mine are like, if it displays alcohol, if it displays political, if it has movies, TV, musical characters, cartoon characters. So take all of them from every series, but put them, if they're related to cartoons, they're in the cartoon section.
Cartoon series.
If they're political, they're in the political section. Yeah, so it's just a different way to look at them. So, and it's not thousands, but hundreds of different artists. So it's not any one person that made them. They're from all over the world. So it's like a worldwide project. And then some people are gone, like they've lost their wallets, and so they're becoming more scarce. So for example, if someone made 100 and he lost his keys to his Bitcoin wallet, well, maybe half of them are gone now. So there might only be 50 or 20 available.
Okay. And these are like, go ahead. I was about to say, so these are like not AI art, human art, right?
No, they're like basically like cartoons. Like, for example, like these are fine art. So someone took something like, for example, like, the artist Keith Haring. So this is Pepe Haring. It tells you how many there were, what series it is in, how many out of the total, and what year it was minted.
And people can purchase that on which website, or like?
It's called Counterparty. So you have a Counterparty wallet, and you transact in Bitcoin. So this is basically a token like Ethereum, like Bitcoin, but it's a token called Pepe Haring. So in your wallet, you see you have one Pepe Haring, but there's an image attached to that token. So instead of having 2 Bitcoin, I have 2 Pepe Haring, for example.
Okay.
And if you look at a Counterparty wallet or a Counterparty website, you see what you have. You can look in your wallet and you see, oh, I have this one and this one. And like if you meet an artist, like this guy will say, oh, I have lots of these. Do you want to trade me one of these for one of these or something?
Okay.
And so it just became fun. Like a lot of Star Wars, different TV characters. Like here's food, like cornflakes, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Different, and like there's a lot of Japanese references, like Japanese artists,
anime and stuff,
spicy jalapeno pepe, and it's just funny things like.
But it's not AI though. That's
no. It's just drawing. A lot of them are hand drawn or they're manipulated. Like there's photos.
Photoshops and stuff.
Photoshop, yes, they got turned.
But human made, yeah.
See, like these are Putin pepe, so it's like an image just turned green, basically. Like Latin Roman emperors, Yeah, so it's just something silly that people are interested in. But the thing is, it's like still alive after all these years. There's still a big community around it, and they're trading daily. Like,
wow.
Yeah, and so it's a whole kind of subculture. and now there's technology to bring these onto the Ethereum blockchain. You can
as well.
it's called an emblem vault. So it's an NFT, but locked inside the NFT are wallets and the private keys. So you'll have, for example, a Bitcoin wallet, an Ethereum wallet, a Chainlink wallet, a Polygon,
All the wallets
every kind
connected.
of so you can send things into this vault, and only the owner can open the vault and take them out.
Oh, nice.
So you buy it and you can keep it closed and see. You can prove what's in there, but you can also it's called crack the wallet, crack the vault, and withdraw them and move them to your own wallet. So
And then you can get them out as like Bitcoin or NFT, but you only like can make money if you traded them with somebody else,
that's
right?
right. Yeah, you.
So yeah, same concept of NFT. It's brilliant.
It is an NFT, and the guy that made it, he passed away. His name's John Villar. He was a Venezuelan. He's very, he's a super good coder, programmer, a little artist, and he made the thing called the DEX, the decentralized exchange. You would make these. It's like an escrow service. So basically, if I have this in my wallet, I can create. It's a dispenser. I'm sorry. So I can create a dispenser. I can send this asset to that dispenser and for a price. I'll say I want 0.5 Bitcoin. So this leaves my wallet. It goes to an escrow wallet. People can see it, that it's for sale, and it's in there, and it has a Bitcoin address. If you send 0.5 Bitcoin to this address, this card is going to be sent to you.
Wow.
With no intermediary, right? No, you don't have to trust anybody. Like, you send me the money first, I'll send you the card after. It happens at the same time.
It's simultaneously.
Because I put it in the dispenser.
And I have to get them. But both have to agree first prior to that, correct?
Well, no, it just sits there, and it has an expiration. So it'll say maybe like 100 Bitcoin blocks. It's going to go away. So you view it and you see, oh, I want this one and I can afford it. I have this much Bitcoin.
Okay.
It says send this much to this address, and you get that item. And if it's closed, if someone already bought it, it turns red. So it says do not send Bitcoin to this address because you won't get the card. Like, it basically just takes the money.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a really interesting technology, and so it's
just free market pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. People put a value on them, and they buy and sell them and trade them just because
they're like, yeah, it's beautiful. I love this, and
it's been a really interesting journey, just learning. Like, I would find who made these, like certain cards, and so then they approached me to develop their Wikipedia. They made a
nice,
and so I'll put a card, and I'll say who made it, and I'll say sometimes I'll find the actual image that it came from. I'll say here's the historical photograph, and here's what it got turned into, and here's what he's referring to. Like, I put links to further reading. So
for each
card, like,
wow,
like this one right here, it's a political flag, right? I forget the name of it, but so I would find it and say, oh, for this is references Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, 2016. So I might put a link to the election to their Wikipedia pages, so you can just learn about the artist that made it and the subject of that card.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and
that is really beautiful.
So it's educational. So it's just been interesting learning all these guys that made them, like especially the guys that are from different countries. Like,
yes.
Like, there's a French guy that lives in Italy that made a Pepe card about the Fonz from Happy Days. You remember the 1970s TV show Happy Days? I said, why do you know about Happy Days? He goes, well, that's how I learned English. Like, I would watch this late at night, these American programs.
Wow.
And I learned English, watching these things. And so he made a Star Trek one, and he made a Happy Days Pepe's, and then it's like a ridiculous thing, but it helped him learn, and it taught him how to make art, and it makes him money because he can now sell them.
So beautiful.
And there's guys that are making a lot of money, guys that need that money. There's guys in small countries, foreign countries that are actually supporting themselves So it was just
Free
something that
trading, it's beautiful.
I had the idea, and I just started putting time into it. I had to learn the software to basically lay them out, and I had to do the research to get the actual data. I had to find a book publisher. I had to go through several publishers, and so it's been kind of like a journey.
Is it on Amazon?
No, it's only available for Bitcoin. So
Okay.
there's a website called Scarcity. They sell goods for Bitcoin only.
We're gonna link the website. Yeah.
Yep. And so you go there, and like we did an auction for the first 5 copies, autographed copies. I would number it because I'm only going to make 100 copies.
That's it.
Of this one. So
how many you got left?
I think I've sold 36.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm getting close. I'm getting closer, and I have a second book it's going to be an open edition. They're not in sets. They're just in order 1 to 1774.
Okay.
It's a smaller book. It's a little bit cheaper. That one I think I could eventually do on Amazon.
Okay.
It's going to be an open edition. Like this one's limited edition. The other one will be open edition.
Beautiful.
So just something different that I learned about, because I spend a lot of time just researching. NFTs came about a couple of years ago, or they got really popular a couple of years ago. But there's a lot of these older ones that are out there.
The real ones, yeah. I mean, the whole idea of like different cryptocurrencies are just pretty much distracting people from the original, which is Bitcoin, the decentralized one.
Yeah. They're trying to basically cash in. Yeah, they'll sell you whatever they're made, and then they'll just turn it into Bitcoin and keep it in that format, because you never know how they're going to come or go. They crash. A lot of them crash down to zero or close to zero.
They're just like a normal company in the stock market, right?
Yes.
They have a CEO. They have somebody control the majority of it. They have a board. They can like go either or.
Yeah, they can.
You don't have a choice. Yeah,
right. They can change the distribution, or they can like stock splits kind of. Yeah, they just change the rules kind of. So that's why people really tend to like Bitcoin the best, right? Because nobody's running it. And
people who know about it, tend to like Bitcoin the best.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's like here, it's not so useful. Like we were talking about, like it's not a necessity for an American, because an American could go get a bank account, no problem, have a debit card, a credit card, checking account. Yeah. But people around in other parts of the world, they don't have that. Yeah. Maybe this is their only choice.
Correct.
Like their money is going down to zero, and they have to have an alternative, or they need to leave their country and they can't carry cash across their border. It's something they need to just put it on a hardware wallet or on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's an amazing technology that people are able to retain their funds without anybody taking it away from them.
Much more of like a sovereign way of like your finances.
You take control of it yourself. You're responsible for it. There's nobody that can help you if you lose it. You have a responsibility for sure, because you can lose it, and people do, or they get scammed out of it. There's a lot of people trying to steal your money all the time, and especially now that it's so easy. Like they'll send you a link, and you click the link, and next thing you know, your wallet is empty, and and you see very important people have been scammed. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, there was a guy, Kevin Rose. Do you know Kevin Rose?
No.
I don't remember what he does. But he recently lost $23 million worth of NFTs. Just because
what kind of NFT? Board?
Crypto kitties, board apes, crypto punks, things, high value NFTs.
How? He just got his wallet scanned?
It's usually a link. You click this link to download something for free, or you claim something, and you don't know that you're claiming, or you're giving access to your private keys. So you have to be very careful. People are clicking things without thinking. Late at night, you're in bed.
It's being lazy.
Yeah, exactly. You're on your laptop. You're like, oh, this looks interesting. Or it'll say, get something free. And they do it. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, no, you lost your whole life savings. So, it's like.
It's also a scary part of it.
Yeah, I think that's what keeps people away, because it seems like it's very easy to lose your money. You can put your money in pretty easily, but you can also lose it pretty easily. And it is sort of like gambling. People, especially with NFTs, they get very popular and then they just go away. And
it's a hype thing.
Yeah, hype. Yeah. So more of it for me. It's more of a hobby. Like I've never bought at the right time, sold at the right time. like I remember seeing Bored Apes come, be announced. They were 0.08 ETH. I think they're like $30 or $40, and I go, those look stupid. Those are ugly. I don't want to buy those. But then next thing you know, they're $400,000.
Yeah,
like, oh
Justin
my God.
Bieber and like
Yeah.
Michael Jackson and all
And
the
like,
fifth celebrity
yeah.
approach.
And I saw it come and go, and I just never even gave it any thought. Like those opportunities are missed. You really could regret it, but you can't look backwards. Like you have to just make your decisions and just go forward. You know what I mean? Like
also have to be like enough educated approach to, you can like flip a lot of like crypto or like what do you call it, shit coins, but at the end of the day, if you have no idea what's going on, then you have to put a lot of education. You have to start with Bitcoin, and then you can get the whole idea of what's going on.
Yeah, you think you're like an influencer or a trader or something, that really you just got lucky a couple of times and you bought at the right time and made some money, but it can become an addiction or almost like gambling. Basically, you're just trying to hit the lottery all the time, trying to get the next big one. So for me, it's just more of kind of like a hobby. And I found out that I enjoyed talking to all these artists just because their stories are interesting, and most of them are not from here. But I've talked to American artists too, like guys in New York and Florida and different parts.
Who does the same thing?
And so they end up. They're very receptive to people asking them questions, because normally they just buy and sell. They don't really think about where it came from. But if you find the guy or the girl that made it and you ask them how they made it and why, they have interesting stories. Like
interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so going through like Telegram rooms, people will give you little tidbits of information, like, oh, this card right here, that's my dog. That I took a picture of him on the farm, and he's holding a stick. And one guy was like, I have a fish farm, right?
Okay.
And so he made a card of his dog with a fish bone in his mouth, and he goes, that dog's name is Rusty or something like that. And so now it's like, oh, that's a piece of information that nobody knew until he said it.
Okay.
Like he just happened to be sitting there, and he said, hey, here's why I made this one thing. And then I go, oh, I got to write that down. Take it, put it in the wiki, because otherwise it's all lost information. And so I would rather have lots of people know about it and find out about it, and it gives them sort of affirmation or clout. Like you say, hey, go read about this guy's stuff on this page, and they're very thankful.
More validity,
yeah, right, because they have an actual a page that they can point to and show people, like, yeah, here's my work, and here's these people talking about it. And so
it's beautiful.
So I ended up doing working on the wiki, working on Medium articles, and then the actual physical hard copy now.
That's a lot of work, though.
It was, yeah. It took me like 7 months of nights and weekends, kind of, because I have a family, I have a job. I couldn't do it full time, so I had to like plug away just a little bit every time, and then finding the publisher and things like that to actually print them. And like the first one that came back, it was really low quality. It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It was a soft cover book. It was like regular paper, not glossy paper. And my wife and daughter, they go, that doesn't look very good. Like this book, you deserve a better product. Like the amount of work you put into it, it should look better, like more something that you would be proud of.
Okay.
And so then I kind of went back to the drawing board and found another company. And then when I got this one, I go, oh, this looks so much better. Like a professional. Like
it does, though. Yeah.
It's like a photography book, like like a coffee table book, something like that. And so,
very, very high.
Yeah.
High
And
quality.
so then when I found those guys in New York, Scarce City, they were interested in like representing it for me. They did the auction, and now they do the sales.
Nice.
All the ongoing sales. Yeah. So
that's beautiful. I'll put the link in the description,
guys.
guys.
I appreciate it.
Of course, and stuff. And let's put this up. And it's coming in a beautiful time.
Yeah.
We're gonna start like having that.
And then it's just something to do and way to meet people, and then just kind of continue my education. Meeting guys like you who's been around a little bit and knows how to. You're still learning yourself, right?
Especially with crypto. I would hold like my whole. I'm still like, it's a process of like tens of thousands of hours of knowledge. So I wouldn't say that I understand what's going on, but I understand for the principle because I've been guided by like good examples
Right.
and people who had like
You
genuine interest in
you
like
know where to look, like
100%.
where to
I
get.
understand the general concept. That's the main
Yeah,
thing. It's
yeah.
like,
You have to you have to wake up to it and like realize, oh, this is a good idea.
yeah,
I'm gonna put some time and money into it
100%. Yes.
because it's not something you just do one time. Like it's
It's a
ongoing,
lifelong thing. Yeah.
lifelong
Yeah.
education, and like it becomes a part of your day, almost like, oh, I got to do this, I got to buy this and move it,
You think you're doing too much.
and you do too much, and then you even worry about like how are people gonna get it? Like, what if I die? I want these funds to go to my family. Like they don't even know anything about
Mm-hmm.
it. Like, so you got to think about the future too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so like, okay, I have a secret password. It's over here. You can find it here. You go get it. You find somebody to help you that you trust, and you, like, you know, in an actual emergency or something, like, it's because you die with all your knowledge, right? Like,
Correct. Yeah, that's why the point of this too is sharing
yeah,
knowledge
you have to share
before.
your knowledge
Yeah,
before it's too late.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, people. There's so much information in people's heads that it's better to get it
There's
out
no way out with it.
to
Yeah.
let people share it and yeah, learn from your mistakes or your knowledge. And so yeah, that's something I've been thinking about lately. Is like, just because I'm getting older and I actually had to go make a will and a trust and all these things, I'm like,
Come on,
I wonder how my
Brian.
wife would get my Bitcoin or how she would get my Pepes. Just because she just looks at it and goes, I don't know what you're doing. I don't understand it. I don't want to know about it. Like, so I'm
She
like,
doesn't see like the value out of it yet.
yeah, that's the thing. She's like, do people actually buy these? I'm like, yes. Look, someone just bought this for $50,000 just like 10 minutes ago. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, and you have some of those? Like, oh yeah, I don't have like the best ones, but I have some. You know, I'm doing different collecting and so, but she doesn't want to talk about the finality. Like, she doesn't want to think about me dying. Obviously, you know,
Nobody want to do.
nobody wants to think about that.
Yeah.
Like, people are go out and buy their plot and their headstone and their you know, you can prepay for your funeral kind of, and we were talking about that when we were looking to do our will and all these things, and she doesn't want to deal with it. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't like that. It's too sad. Like, it's too real. Like, you have to plan for it, but you don't want to plan for it. Like,
Yeah.
but then you don't want to have your children be burdened, like, go through the process of having to do all that stuff.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
and so if you could take away some of that, like, in advance, it's they would appreciate it in the future, you know.
Yeah.
So it's weird how you think about your finances or your possessions, and like you want to make sure they're taken care of, like you're taking care of your family. Or,
yeah, 100%. And it just like these difficult conversations, you're gonna bring it up by yourself. You gotta sit down and write a will. Nobody like to do that,
Right.
but then that's something you have to do
Right.
because you know we're finite, you know,
yeah,
objects.
you just don't know how long you're going to be around, and
Yeah.
and you know, it's
Wasn't supposed to be here like 10 years ago. So
I know
yeah.
I've heard some of your story. It's amazing. I can't believe how positive you are for what you've been through. That's really
I get
surprising.
that quite some.
That's what I'm surprised. Like, this guy should not be this happy. Like, he's had a lot of sadness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I guess you make yourself that way. Like, you could either be very, very sad and angry, or you can be happy, positive.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a way of
like,
looking out of it. Yeah,
you
definitely.
make that choice, right? Like, I don't want to be sad and miserable and think about the past. Like, I'm going to try to be positive and be happy with what I have, or who, you know, my friends and my family. But that was something that I've been thinking about. Like, this guy, why is this guy so happy? Like, he's been through some bad things. Like,
Yeah.
And then I think, well, I have it pretty easy. Like, why am I mad or am I sad all the time? And this guy's like had some real problems, and he's happy. So
I guess it'd have to push you to that external edge where you're like, pain is too much for you to stay in like the same thought pattern, the same ideas, the same even identity that you thought you were.
right.
And it wasn't easy, man. It was just like a glass breaking, you know, and spilling whatever is in it, you know.
You had to like rebuild yourself, your life.
Unfortunately, I had to it was it's like going through that path. It was destroyed unintentionally. My whole like identity, parameters of way, or like perception of looking at the world and life.
Yeah.
What is my value? What is the point of life? You know, all that stuff. And once you that's why we're trying to share this knowledge. It's
Yeah.
just they lack the same understanding to the same concepts on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Well, they need to know that it's possible that you can't live in your past. You know,
Oh
you have
yeah,
to move forward
it's a lesson.
and try to
Yeah,
become better. Yeah, because that's your only option. I mean,
yeah.
like you're saying, you don't want the other option. Like you don't want to become depressed or take your own life or something like that. Like
Unfortunately,
you see that a lot.
yeah. In the
Your
age right now,
yeah,
like it's insane.
yeah,
Yeah,
and so something you just have to force yourself to do it to get better. Kind of like
100%.
how you're gonna fix yourself and how you're gonna keep yourself happy
And it starts in your mentality, though.
Mhm.
You have to start there. You cannot look at any other way.
yeah, yeah. No, it's impressive. Like I don't know
Thank
you
you.
that well,
I
but getting to know
appreciate
you,
it.
I'm impressed that
Thank you.
like the amount of time and
Effort.
energy that you give to other people. Like
Yeah.
you take time out of your day to help other people, which is
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's like my ethos is like I think that you're highest when you're at service,
Mm.
and I mean
Mhm.
it's different like ways of providing value.
Mhm.
Mine was always service.
Okay.
I was always coming out from that route. That's like what's in nature with me.
Mhm.
So even when I went to school, pharmacy, like my intent was to help people get healthier, get better.
Right.
That's what the whole idea of like me looking at what kind of preservatives, what kind of like stuff in our food and stuff like that. It's just from the same idea of me trying to help,
Okay. And that's one way of helping people. Like obviously doctors, nurses,
Mhm.
pharmacists, like health
Mhm.
nutritionists, gym,
Yeah.
personal trainers. Like there's different ways to help people, and you're kind of taking it from the health perspective. Like you learned a lot going through.
Unintentionally too. It's just like
Yeah.
Slumdog,
Oh,
wise guy, pretty much.
Right.
I collected all these different fields of knowledge
Okay.
so fast growing up,
Mhm.
and then through that I was missing the main part, which is the mentality part, aspects, and looking forward and like in life in general. Because I was so restricted, and for a person like me, we can go through like human design. Did we go through that before?
No.
So for a person like me, if people are familiar with human design, I'm a manifester. So that kind of like I'm like 9% of the population. So imagine being like 91% of the population does not understand you.
Oh, okay.
Not only that, you have this kind of repelling aura because you don't have that root that sacral and root chakras defined. So you're more of a person who can start things and start making them, but people get offended or people might be intimidated or people might take it the wrong way because once I am in a spot, my energy is pushing other people away because I have finite sort of source of energy. So it's like that's why like if somebody didn't see me and they show me behind them and like they get freaked out, it's like it's not really didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It just like they didn't feel the energy. No, but like it's silent, But
I see.
so it was pretty interesting knowing about that
Mm-hmm.
and like how people react around me. So you gotta be kind, you gotta be generous with the smile because there
Yeah.
is no other way for me to communicate.
Yeah.
And I can like nothing starts for me. People are so intimidated to come in and talk or have a conversation. I have to be the initiator. I have to be the one
Oh yeah.
to come back and extend the hand of like approach, understanding, enveloping this trust that is, I'm here, I'm listening.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's the reason that I felt comfortable
Mhm.
going into a strange place. Like yeah, you approach me with a smile and a
Yeah.
handshake or a hug. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? Like
Yeah.
he's very
Yeah.
he's welcoming. He's not like negative. He's trying to help me. Like
Mhm.
you see somebody that's alone and you go talk to them and see
Yeah.
what's going on. And
Because you're never alone though.
oh right. Yeah, you just got to be in the right place and like
Yeah.
and be willing to talk and listen. Like I think people just don't listen really. They just want to hear themselves, or
It's true. Yeah.
or they'll ask you a question and somehow they turn it right back around to themselves.
Mhm.
Like you really, if you're able to listen and give a little feedback, I think that's a better way.
It's also if you want to learn though, and that's like most.
Oh yeah. Some people don't learn. They just they stay in their own patterns and.
Or like take it from like ego or like perspective of like I'm gonna show this guy I know I'm the shit. It's like okay, so it's just that's their parameter, so they didn't want to listen, so just try to get whatever they're comfortable with.
You have to be more humble. Like yeah. Instead of being braggadocious or loud, you're quiet and humble, and you're able to listen and show them that you're actually compassionate.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right. Yeah, just
You
those type
have
of
to.
people, they drive people away just because they're so loud or so negative,
You
or
can be loud and good. Like you can be
yeah.
loud and good work, like with parameters, with
Mm.
different like intensity,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not. It's very easy to tell or for people to see that it's just you coming out of like, oh, I'm this egotistical
Mm-hmm.
kind of guy. I'm talking down on
Mm-hmm.
people.
Oh, right.
I'm not really providing
You
something that I know most of you are not aware. So it's not
uh
your fault.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
it's different.
You spend your time putting other people down instead of like building them up or something. Yeah.
But why? To feel better?
Right. Yeah, that doesn't gain you anything really. I mean,
Yes, man. People who try to put other people down to
right.
feel. Sorry if I keep interrupting, but this
No,
is
that makes it makes sense.
Good,
Yeah, I'm just
good,
thinking
good
about it now.
project,
Like,
yeah.
those type of people are not the ones you want to hang out with because
Yeah.
they put too much negativity, and you're just like, oh, I can't take it anymore. Like it's just you're just bringing me down, kind of. Like you'd rather be with someone that's educated and someone that has things to give you and like, ideas and share the knowledge, kind of. Because you have different experiences, different
skill sets. We're all
Right.
born with it. It's some stuff come for you easier,
Right.
Brian, than it comes for me, right?
Right.
Like this amazing work, especially I think because you have like more of an artistic art and you appreciate it a lot more. So it worked out for well for you. I'm like, regardless what kind of skill sets I got,
Right.
I know that design and art is not my strong suit.
Well, that's me too. I'm not an artist. I'm more of I'm good at researching, organizing thoughts, getting things in order, documenting things. That's more of my skill set. But I end up talking to these guys, they're completely different. Like they're just kind of wild. Like, artists are free. Like they just have so many different thoughts going through their head. Like they're not organized sometimes. Like they have so many ideas that they don't get anything done. Like I go, hey, what happened to this thing? I forgot, I just got busy doing something else. And so I'm more like analytical, like, things have to be in order.
Discipline, structure,
So it's the opposite of art, but it's sort of like in that neighborhood. It's just different. Like there's more analytical than artistic. But
that's actually a beautiful topic. So you think if you're not, because everybody has to have a structure in their day where they're like, without a structure, it's easy for you to like whatever drift or get away from like your goal or point. I think that is required for everyone though, not only artists. Like you, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to. Yeah, you gotta get certain things done every day. Just I mean, especially if you have a job and a family and you have responsibilities.
More responsibilities, 100%.
You gotta make time for everything, and you gotta things you don't even want to do, but you have to maintain. Like things happen, and you have to deal with them.
So how do you keep doing things that is, it's good for you in the long term, but it sucks doing it at the time?
Yeah, it's difficult. Like I just kind of go one day at a time, and try to make the best of it. Like something happened and you got to fix it and just keep going. Like,
keep going, right?
Because you can't just cry about it. You just got to keep on going. But sometimes that's bad too, because you want to have some future plans. Like I'm not too good at making future plans, future goals. Like I think I need to learn that skill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But this is a future plan, right?
I mean, I had a goal and I met it, right? Like I wanted to do it and I did it. So but like New Year's resolutions or like vision boards, like things like goals that you want to have for the future, it's difficult for me to come up with something. And I guess I have to just be motivated. Like if I have an idea and I finish it and I'm happy about it. But then other things I'm like, oh, I'll do that later. That can wait. So I think you have to really be focused on it to get it done.
It has to be obsession, yeah.
That's right. And sometimes it doesn't. You're not allowed to do that because you have other things that responsibilities, right? Yeah. If I had no job, I have plenty of time to do all kinds of different things. But you have to have money. You have to pay your bills, and
correct.
Sometimes you get too overwhelmed. You have too much stuff, stuff you don't need, and you could get by with a lot less. time is probably your most important asset. And you forget that sometimes. Like,
Yeah, wasting time.
you waste time. Yeah, it's like you gotta think of things you want to do and get done, and so that's something that I need to work on, especially like setting goals and doing them. Like, it's important, but it's easy to procrastinate. Like, it's very easy to say I don't have time for that. I don't feel like doing that. I'll do that later. So like I think you're more disciplined. Like, you're saying, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to I'm going to drink this much water, I'm going to do this. Like,
but it's true. It's true.
Like,
I get it. Yeah, 100%. You're right about this. Yes.
So that's a benefit, that like you know what you're going to do today. Like, how much time you have to work out and what time you have to wake up.
100%. Yeah.
But me, I'm like, I'll just sleep in. I don't want to wake up. It's too early. I don't want, I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it later after work. And then after work, you say, no, I'm too tired. I'll do it tomorrow or something. So
I think I was lucky since I was a kid from doing like this kung fu and like understanding the discipline of, because once you're like fighting, you have to lose a lot of weight. So you starve yourself and then you overeat and gorge after the diet. And once you did that like multiple times, I was like numerous times growing up. So like the whole point of two extremes is not really attractive for you. Yes, I can starve myself, I know I can do that. And yes, I can overeat, I know I can do that. We all can do that. So the both extremes is not really interesting because you've done them so many times, right? So the idea for like, okay, so I gotta like work around what is sustainable and what is longevity. And
now you want to maintain something.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing it professionally. It's just something that you want to try to keep.
Trying to like be a functional, able body that like I appreciate strength a lot. And it's not only like having a low fat percentage or looking good. It's like muscle is not really a vanity. It's a way of like survival. They test like how people would live by like the strength of their grip, but stuff like that. So you got to be able to just, and the more you get older, the harder you need to work because, they don't have the same reaction for body to do the same thing. And going through that as well is like, okay, so I dialed it down to what kind of amino acids, what kind of like supplementation of like creatine, of like CoQ10, of like different variety where it can, your body's collagen is important too. Your body's like dwindling on these substances, but once you supplement them, it's actually pretty interesting. It's not that far though. Like that's what I'm saying. But again, it's all a mental thing, bro.
Yeah. Well, you have to be disciplined. It's easy to be lazy. It's easy to eat whatever you want to eat. Like it takes discipline to not eat, and it takes discipline to exercise on a daily basis.
But also only at the beginning, though.
You have
Brian.
to just get that routine, right? You have to develop that
like
habit.
3 weeks or like 4 weeks in, you're having an itch to go to the gym. Like the day I don't even work out or like will like had to do a lot of videos or something, I feel like I'm suffocated.
I missed it.
Even when you try to go at night, it's just like, okay, like you drained all your energy and then you're going to see whatever is left for the workout.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to do it in the morning, it gives you more energy during the day. It's like, this is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that. I had a little spurt. I took a 6 a.m. class. And then, yeah, you're right. By the 4 or 5 o'clock, you feel like that class was in a different day. Like you feel like you got more time than, it's only been 6 hours, but it feels like it was 24 hours.
Yeah.
But waking up at 5:20, getting to 6 a.m. class and getting it done, and then getting home, getting back to work, you feel accomplished for sure, because before 7 or 8 a.m. you've already done something hard.
Correct.
Like you got yourself out the door and you did something difficult. And so I think you're right. It's just like getting yourself into that habit, because as soon as you stop, you realize, sleeping's pretty good too. Like I could sleep till 7 a.m., 8 a.m. But it's not the same. Like you're more tired. You have to drag yourself out.
Isn't it funny when you sleep before 12, like the 9, 10 p.m., that recovery when you wake up is completely different if you slept even the same hours at 12 or 1 a.m.?
From 12,
it's
from
wild,
midnight
right?
till 8 a.m., right. Yeah, so go to bed earlier, then you can wake up earlier, get your stuff done. So it's just hard. Or you just have excuses, like you get older and you get tired, you get sore. It takes longer to recover. You know, like even something simple like doing yard work might take me 3-4 days because maybe I hurt my hamstring, I hurt my back, you know, just from bending over for a couple of hours. Like, and so you have to be willing to make yourself more flexible, more strong, so that you can tolerate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think I heard you in one of your other
It's very
podcasts.
easy.
You're saying like, oh, your bones get weaker, or they get
100%.
yeah. The older you get weaker bones.
Without resistance training, yeah,
Uh-huh.
100%.
So yeah, so you got to do something every day at least to try to get yourself stronger and more flexible.
And it's not that hard, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry saying it's
I
hard,
know.
but it's
I
not
know.
that hard because it's just, for me, I was able to dial it down to like 1, 2, 3 when you wake up. So you stretch, like you need to this kind of workout until you can able to increase your stamina, increase on food. So, I mean, I'm sad to hear this, but I'm going to let him, obviously, you know, I will share with you like whatever I can. No, yeah, of course, man. You like people like, and again, they look at Sylvester Arnold, the like famous actors, like, well, they're actors, they're celebrities, they're all in the gear,
putting 10 hours of gym time in, just
and also like using enhancement stuff,
right?
You know, and that's like the concept is like, no, well, enhancement stuff work like 10 to 15 to 20% or just maintain whatever. But if he doesn't have the main thing, the ritual, the clean food, the clean diet, that is the majority of the work.
Yeah, diet is the majority of it, actually, because because the physical part of it is, it doesn't work unless you have the diet. Because so I think maybe just having someone to keep me
in check. That's actually a good part too. Yeah.
Because if you can't do it yourself, then you have somebody help you. You get like a personal trainer, or even just somebody to motivate you and say, "Hey, did you work out today?" And kind of call you on it. And
yes. That's the whole idea of this. Is I think it's just, for most of us, it's not about the diet, it's not about the workout, it's not about the exercise. It's about the mentality. Why we keep going in and out of the same loop. You know, it's like, are we really gaining anything if we're going, because you can be doing everything we're saying, you can get that good, but you're still thinking horribly about yourself. You're thinking you're not enough. So what are you going to do with self-sabotage technique? You're going to try to ruin whatever you got.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
I do that. I do that. I'm like,
I work too hard, but and it's legit. Like, you should reward yourself, but also one thing I learned when I was a young kid was like, only animals get rewarded with food. I was like, oh shit! I was like, this is so bad, and it's true because once you put food in you, you're more into like geared into that kind of animal. Like you're more ego, you're more lustful, you have more appetite for everything. You want trouble, you want like you know what I'm talking about?
Right, because it increases your vitality
and energy, and like and it's not like that increased energy is not is good or like, but what kind of energy would you need for the day? You know, if you don't have a plan, if you have a lot of wasted time, if you have like free time, which is not structured day, you don't have things to do all the time, everywhere, anytime, which is supposed to be the way we live though, you know, then like, oh, you're going to be alone, then it's going to always obviously going to come back to the same circuit of like, dopamine hits, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we have it too easy now. There's too much food available. You have cars, you have, you don't have to work very hard to get what you need. Like, people used to spend so much time getting food, and they would walk everywhere, and now it's like you very rarely have to move out of your chair. Like, everything can be delivered to you, or very simply.
That's not really, that's convenience. It's like convenience has never been a problem with really development. I think it's more of adapting, forgetting who we are, as like kind of the human body is so resilient and strong. And you go back like 500 years ago, these people were working like, not working, but just their lifestyle is literally physical work to us.
Survival, right.
And it's not even survival. There was kingdoms
like
and
40 years,
pieces.
60 years ago, there was
before the Industrial Revolution.
People in the
100%.
1960s were so thin, but they also died earlier. They didn't have the proper nutrition, but they didn't overeat, and they had to actually exert energy. They were doing manual labor more than now, but it's like it's become too easy to overeat and to be lazy. Like, you can.
But what do you think about that? Because that's another part. Like, you watched the one with Akash, right? The first episode.
Yeah.
This dude is so beautiful. I love him to death. Love Akash, man. I swear to God, he's just
Yeah.
because it's just been there for me, man. And he
Yeah.
was like, he had this heightened awareness, and he was able to share that with me. It's
Mhm.
like, look, man, you are like the whole process of you thinking about yourself as uh, I want to get something for me,
Mhm.
because that's what I used to do. I mean, I mentioned a lot. I was only like disappear for 1 or 2 years, just grab another license, and it's all by myself.
Mm.
Coming back, like everybody, because it's just like I would say like bilateral of doing business, of studying for too long, is just you're not really having time with anyone for anything.
Oh yeah.
You're doing
Just
18 to
because.
20 hours a day,
Yeah.
and it's
Just
insane amount.
cramming and just preparing.
Cramming,
Yeah.
thank you, cramming
Preparing
information.
for
Man.
exams. Yeah.
And you come back to people, it's like after all of that, I lost like almost my social influence. People were close to
Mm.
me, thought I like not contacting them or something. For
Oh,
me,
you
this is
just
being
withdrew
focused.
from everybody.
Yeah.
Because you're so. You just wanted to study and get through the.
And get through the thing.
Yeah.
And then when I come out, I was like, oh, it's another horrible restrictions of like
Mhm.
the board, of like the
Oh,
places
yeah.
you work, of the harassment you deal
Yeah.
with, because not everybody's coming from the same prospect of like, I want to give love and
Yeah.
value, and and that's it. Everything that comes out is like, and like bilateral, like
Mhm.
a thing that is not really you're planning for. If you're doing what you love and providing value and benefit to the whole collective and community, then like that's the only way for you to be satisfied, to get
Mhm.
whatever financial stature you want, because
Mhm.
you any going out of it in any other way, it's only going to turn back. It's like you're going to work for the reward for something you hate, and something you hate is never going to get you what you want. So
Yeah, that's the hard thing. It's like my main goal is to not work. Like I would love to just retire, but you can't do that when you have certain responsibilities.
of course,
So yeah, if you can do something that makes you happy on the side, or
maybe it'd be your main thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you turn your hobby into your career, sort
Mhm.
of like very few people do that, but it's possible. Like
But the ones who do,
they're the happiest people, like
and the most
and
successful
successful
too.
because they love what they're doing. Like they don't
Yeah.
view it as work.
Steve Jobs,
Mhm.
one of those people.
Just driven and
Yeah, the
just
design and like
motivated.
the quality
Yeah.
of the product,
Yeah.
and without him, actually, Apple wouldn't have the same name
Right.
brand and same
Right.
like for
It's just like
people.
they're almost like singularly focused, like too focused. He almost to his own detriment. Like,
Obsession,
yeah, just obsessed with perfection, kind of. But then he neglected his health. Like he didn't believe what his doctors
Yeah.
were trying to tell him, and it cost him years.
Mhm.
So it's a delicate balance. Like you gotta do everything right, and that's the hardest thing. Like
But not everything right though. Like, because for me, if you know what's right, you're gonna do it eventually more than what's wrong.
Mhm.
That's like just an innate nature to humans, right?
Mhm.
So if you know what's right and you already have a structure that guides you to do the right thing most of the time,
Yeah.
then like 9 times out of 10 you're gonna do, because you're really doing the wrong thing, or what do you think is the wrong
Mhm.
thing. Because also I don't like judging.
Right.
That's another thing. I
Right.
don't like judging anything you do
Right.
for is it good or bad, because
Mhm.
no, there's a lot more
Yeah.
ways to look at it,
Yeah.
especially if I'm a one person. Like I want to see the other person point of view. It wouldn't be
Mhm.
not exactly the same, and we couldn't
Yeah.
even agree on that's good or bad for you,
Yeah.
right?
So you just let people do what they want, but still offer help if they ask for it, or
Yeah.
uh, your expertise, or your something that you might think could help them, or.
If they want to, and that's the whole
Yeah.
idea of I'm not like the whole idea of trying to, like, when people trying to get aware, like, and trying to be better in
Mhm.
general, it's their call, it's not mine.
You're right.
Because I would hear the same thing.
Oh, right. Yeah, you can't force someone to do something. I mean, they have to
Right.
want to do it. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And you feel like you failed if they didn't do it, but it's not up to you. Like you're not gonna come to my house and cook my food and take me to the gym. Like I have to do that for myself.
Exactly.
And then
Thank you.
I
Perfect.
could tell you about it, and you'd be proud of me, and then that's a different thing. But yeah, the person has to want it for themselves. Otherwise, it's
And
not
it-
going to happen.
Yeah, and it's like a personal dialogue. Like if
Mhm.
you're not that person that think, oh, I may be making money, but
Mhm.
my body's going out of shape, or maybe good
Mhm.
shape, but I don't know how to make money, or
Mhm.
like I may be in good shape and know how to make good money,
Yeah.
but everything else is falling apart,
Uh-huh.
right? So that's why
Right.
I'm like doing with desperate perception product and the service is like body, mind, and soul. So you're not only gonna look your best, you're gonna feel your best because the quality and amount of like the kind of food you're getting very specified on. And then we're gonna deal with the mentality, the different concepts of you, like mantra and starting every day and having meditation 2 or 3 times a day. Having these rituals, having these disciplines.
To try to take them out of their negative place if they...
Because negative is the devil. Because unfortunately, like we're that shell of light from God because we're all the same soul or like collective or like we're all connected, and it's pretty strange we don't believe in that or like don't admit that 100%. That when you're like feeling you're isolated, that's when you get weakness, you know, that's when you want to do things for your own, for your like hit dopamine, pleasure, ego, vanity, lust, you know, anger, revenge. All that comes from like you're not really going through the light. And what is the light and like what is the purpose of any soul is just express love and expressing that to the benefit of the collective through your providing value, service.
Yeah, you just want to be a good person and not cause any harm to anybody. Like you,
but yes,
that's the problem. Like you try to help as much as you can, and because you want to be a better person. Like you have to realize that you're not helping anybody by being hurtful or being negative or something. Or like you said, like judging. Like you want to be able to listen and
look at everything. Just don't have it like this.
Just offer help. I mean, it's difficult to do. I mean, you want to.
You think so?
I mean that's just in people's nature. Like they love to talk trash and break people down.
But that's like
but it doesn't help you. I mean,
gossip.
Yeah, gossip, right? Yeah, and you can't worry about if people are doing better than you or worse than you. Like you can't.
It's me versus me.
Yeah. Like I used to have on my computer, envy is the thief of joy. So you worry about what other people have too much. You don't realize what you have. Like maybe they're looking at you the same way. They think you have everything, but you think they have everything. But so I think if you're more positive and you're able to just talk and listen, you figure out, we're both doing pretty good. Like, you know, we could help each other out maybe, and I don't need to worry about what you have or what I have. Like, you just be more, like you said, more of service. Like,
go ahead.
If you need to talk to somebody, you need to find out what they need. Like, don't just worry about what you're not getting. Like you were talking about like the mentality of feast or famine, like right? Like some people only worry about themselves and trying to gather as much as they can without helping.
The service of self, which is unfortunately is the matrix though. It's like it kind of provide on like this Kabbalion kind of ritual, which is also the Kabbalion is very beautiful if you read it and understood it correctly, but they're depending on like taken from the collective. And that's pretty much what we're seeing on big scale though, right? We're seeing famine and there's overfeeding in some parts of the world. We're seeing like harm and hurt and like detriment to other human beings for exactly the profit of others. And that is just not okay with anyone, you know?
Yeah, people are starting to wake up to it and be like looking at things on a global scale instead of just their own little area. Like, you could. But sometimes you get overwhelmed and like you realize you can't really affect change to, you know, you don't directly control what's happening in most things. Like
100%.
You can only control yourself.
And that's where it starts.
That's the hardest part,
Because the state of the collective, the state we're in, is because of the majority of the collective. The majority of people is not thinking good, is always selfish. So it's not just pointing fingers, it's just like understanding that, okay, so this is the time where we try to understand a different or paradigm shift, like we're not here to get something, to harm someone, to have this ego, who is this guy. No, we're here to help each other out, you know, for the benefit of all and harm none, and just try to bring people up, you know. But trying to go against the grain, which I have one of my buddies, I know Brian, if you saw him, I love him to death too. This dude has been amazing, but he's more like, my perception is like, I'm gonna contact you with like love, you know. I understand what you're saying, but I'm gonna go back to the kind of basic principles that you're set your law on. So for example, if you're saying these people are bad, I'll be like, why you're judging? Like, you think that is, you know, and why do you think it's just good here and not good there, because the same people can be good in other stories and other people. So
Yeah.
it's more of approach. But for him, God bless his soul, he just like more of like, no, you said something wrong right now, right here. I'm gonna make you aware. I'm gonna make fun of you. I'm gonna taunt you. I'm just gonna make you aware that what you're saying is kind of like not normal BS.
Oh, I see.
So he was like, I think it's for his principle, it's like the truth is his message, and for me it is love is the message. But well, I mean, we were, because really I don't think like taunting anyone.
Yeah.
But again, they need that wake up call though, you know. But it also like a very like difficult path to throw yourself out there, do what you are saying, don't want people to do, but also you're doing it for the good. That means you're gonna have like a lot of like self-governance of your mentality, because yes, you might go there and act the same way, because in my perception, if I acted the same way, then what's the difference? You know?
Yeah. So you're just more of a positive approach than trying to correct everybody.
Yeah, because I think people genuinely believe or act on a matter of like fear or like self-preservance, or like like scarcity mindset is like, oh, they're gonna take this from us, they're gonna win. There's like, okay, it's way bigger than this. But until you understand that, there's no room for this conversation. So like I told him, and I told a lot of people before, because so many lies have been out there, and that's actually what runs most thing, media coverage, any news would have more fear than more love and hope, right?
Right.
So the idea is we're not even having the same conversation. So I'm not going to try to publicize any like kind of fear. I'm going to try to work on, okay, I'm going to be the truth. I'm going to be the truth first. So the truth is me loving myself, which is a step number one that I know and for everybody should do. It is the healthiest thing you can do to yourself, with all the faults, with all the mess ups, with everything. Just be completely in love with yourself.
Yeah, that's the difficult part.
You think so? This is also
For me, I don't know.
Really? Why can't you love yourself,
I don't
man?
know. I just have a negative outlook of myself, I guess. But yeah, it's just like people, like my wife will say, yeah, like, you need to love yourself, you need to appreciate what you have. And so it's like, oh, I try, but I like it's negative thoughts come in, and pretty easily. Like,
so so it's beautiful. So did you meditate or no?
I have tried, I just a few times. It's
okay. We'll go through.
I know how to do it. I just haven't done it.
So how to do it? What is your
just
principle?
like sitting. I tried different apps, like where they would play music and a gong every minute, every 2 minutes, something like that, to try to help you get centered. Yeah, so just sort of sitting down on the floor and sitting still and trying not to think. So like guided meditation, that's the one that I had tried.
Yeah, there is. So the most powerful versions for me was when I like try to shut everything down. You don't have to close your eyes, but I chose to close my eyes. And like I said before, it took me like 6 months to start aligning with the source, because I could not stop my analytical mind, which is like 5% of your brain, which is insane. Of like all these like random thoughts coming in, and the thoughts will come and influence your emotion. What is emotion? Is like an energy emotion, but it's just locked. You can't get it out. It's because you're putting toxic thought, because you're putting like a thought that is like not prosperous, that has nowhere to go. So again, Akash, he taught me that when you're doing meditation, so number one, you're not thinking about anything, just focusing on one thing. So you don't have to close your eyes. You can put your hands in front of you, or you can close your eyes and like focus on your breath, which commonly known. But the idea is to like completely no thought. Right. And that is the state of bliss. The more you can prolong no thought for like, 10 minutes, 2-3 times a day, the more you're going to have connection with like, so I'm not really that thinking mind that is working 24/7. That is just a practical tool that I have.
But you're able to turn it off for a while?
Yeah. Turning it off, remind you of who you are, and actually would have people call it downloads or whatever. But I think when you're in that frequency of more of receiving and listening and stop thinking about every little thing, you actually have more guidance. You actually have more clarity in what you're going to do, because when you wake up, it's like, why was I worried about so many things? I know exactly what I want to do right now, right? And from there, it took me, like I said, 6 months to start like aligning. And once I did it, like 5-10 seconds, started very slow for me.
Yeah.
I was able to maximize on that, to know that what time would be better for me to do it. So when I used to wake up, just sit down, my body would be like jumping up and down. I was like, okay, so we gotta chill down. You know,
Yeah.
so we gotta like take cold shower. If not, you know, just gotta work out. Just gotta get that humbling experience at the beginning of the day, because you wake up full of energy and full of ego as well. It's like, oh, okay, I'm like the shit. It's like normal thoughts, you know. I'm better than whatever, whatever we all think about ourselves. We kind of think we're better than other people, though, and it's also good for our survival too, and like our. But it's not that you're better. Just maybe the way you're looking at it, it just you've been gifted or like had selected some new pathways that is actually good for you, and you have to be grateful, not be better. So the first key to loving myself was being grateful for everything I have. And I know some people, we have nothing, is like, exactly, that is the right place to start. You have to be grateful for nothing first, because the more you're grateful, the more going to be stuff that is more beneficial and more in harmony with what you're looking forward to. But if you're not grateful for anything, you know, and like you're depending on people to give you your value, which, trust me, I took that road for like 32 years. You know, everything I went through was like vanity kind of approach.
As a young person, you're trying to.
Like I and also it was, I was tricked by the ego shadow, like pathway of like, oh, you want to work hard, right? And you want to like help people, right? Because that's also in line with what I wanted, dude. It was so insane, my experience. So it's like, why don't you go to like medical school or something? I'm different than a lot of people. I know my favorite subject was chemistry, and I'm more interested in how stuff what is it made of, than how is it works. Like, so my brother is a projector, which is like the future leaders of the world. They can influence one person at a time. So regardless of that energy type, we're going to talk about it after this. And then hopefully one of many, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you could teach me.
Yeah, love having you here, man. It's just amazing, welcoming, energy. And just that's what we're here for, man. Showing people that doesn't matter what we look like, where we come from. There's love everywhere. There's support everywhere. People, people like, he wanted what's good for me, right? And he cares, and he like give me pinpoints and stuff. And it's like, this is beautiful, man.
Take you out of your place and show you how to change your thinking. Maybe that's something I could do, that kind of just to teach myself to be quiet and just listen and it's appreciate just being there, like just waking up and being healthy, being able to move. Like, sometimes you just forget, like you see someone in a wheelchair or someone without a limb, you go, wow, like I'm not really that bad off. Like, you just like you say, you just take advantage, you take it for granted. Like, you have to pay attention to what the good things that you have, because it's easy to be
grateful towards
it's easy to be negative, but you have so much more than what you need, or what other people have, maybe. So
I mean, bro, we're living in America. You have your own roof over your head. You're making money to pay for rent and stuff, which is, by the way, insane. And after all of that, like, dude, we're like the top 1% of the world. Do you understand that? They understand there's billions of people in India who doesn't even have a home.
Don't have a thing.
So that was like a wake-up call. Like, so from this position, guys, like, we are so blessed and grateful, and we take it for granted that we don't want to extend our hand to see what's going on with the other community, because I'm just so comfortable, I don't care. It's like, dude, how does this
that you have to break out and like get other people's opinions. That's the thing. Like, you sit at home too long by yourself, and you bring yourself down, or you get
isolation is
you're
a
in
dangerous,
your bubble, like you just don't care.
Isolation is a dangerous area.
And so you have to go out and meet people that are different than you, and have different life stories, different experiences.
I love it. That's
I think that's something I could definitely work on, like like you could probably coach me on that. Like,
Yeah, of course, of course, 100%.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Like for everybody that's around me, and that's also by sharing love.
mm-hmm.
I want to like include him in my program, so like I was able to help because like in different ways you're supposed to help the people around you the most
Mhm.
because they're just the people that is like around you and like they're interested, they wish love and
Mhm.
genuine part of you to be like the best, and it's like so that energy is already flowing, right? So it's like it's amazing. So why don't I share that best amount of knowledge that I
Yeah.
collected with the people around me, making them get better, feeling them get better. I mean, Josh would like hit me up. I was like, "What about this and that? What about that?" I was like, "Okay, here we go." It's like, and it's just interesting the amount of people I was helped to get out like high blood pressure, diabetes type 2, losing weight, and that's normal for anybody who lose weight and like get focused and like have a good regimen that they usually get off meds,
Right.
and that's the goal.
Right.
And it's interesting to see that it just. You're more into your head as like, oh, this is where I'm at. That's who I will be. And I disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
This is who you were,
Yeah.
but
And
that's not who you can ever be.
right. And you were able to, just doing a few simple things, you're able to help change their life.
Yes.
Like, yeah,
Yes.
I mean, getting someone off medication is a big deal.
Mhm.
Like everybody's pre-diabetic, everybody has high blood pressure. It's just like
And
you could give them the knowledge to not be like that. Like just kind of get them going in the right direction.
Yeah, and it's easy. Like you go to a convenience store, all the stuff in the convenience store is pretty much corn.
Right.
And it's it's fructose and like it's just different with maltodextrin, different it wouldn't raise your blood sugar, but it will do a lot worse things to your body and metabolism than even real glucose. And it's so interesting to see that even like cane sugar or table sugar is not 100% glucose. It's just glucose and fructose. Like, okay, so that's pretty weird. So it's like, okay, so you got to take the veil off of what you're putting into that system is so horrible for your metabolism, for your body, for your functions, that it's wonder that like you didn't go insane just from all these stuff that you've been eating, because you've been getting this hype of good energy and all of a sudden you're hungry and not into anything, and then so you feel the low or down. It's like, dude, what is this? What is this? Jumping around in your insulin response, messing up your body, going
you have
through.
to get more into like it's just fuel and energy. Like you don't need very much to actually sustain.
No, I think you need a good amount of protein first.
Yeah, you need the proper things.
Yes, and a quality food, amount of food too. Yeah, I mean, people would say that if you eat broccoli for like 30 grams of broccoli, it's the same as 30 grams of like meat or chicken. Is like, dude, no, because only beneficial to you is animal protein, because it have the good, like it have the profile of amino acids that your muscle and your body for functions needs. So when you try to skip that and go for just plants, and by the way, like if you absorbed any of that 30 gram in broccoli, because once you eat any plant, you have to go through a fermentation process in your gut, and it takes like 80% out of that nutrients, and then it comes back to your body if it will absorb anything out of it in the first place. So like you're going on a natural starvation kind of way. But then again, yes, you need to include vegetables, and that's like another conversation I had. Because like fibers and stuff like that, I mean, that also it's interesting conversation, because the people who did carnivore at the beginning, it was very rough, but after that there's like their gut is healthier than having that much. So it's again, it's different. Like I told you before we even started this, we're just chatting about like how is it, is like it's not the same. It's not like one size fit all.
Right.
It's just
you have to try it and see if it works for you.
On your body type, blood type, metabolism, lifestyle, all that stuff. You're gonna direct like whatever it's most sustainable. It's easier to keep up for a long time doing the same thing, and it's beautiful.
How do you think people that have, like, it's pretty easy for you to take care of yourself. What if you have people that have a family? Like, you're not going to make your whole family eat a certain way.
You don't have to.
You could just kind of do it for yourself. And
because I think most part of the delusion that we live in right now, that people can say something and act the other way, don't do what I do what I say. It's like, well, if it's that good conversation or that good advice, why didn't you follow it yourself? So I believe in like before you start to do anything for other people, just do it on, try with what you control, which is yourself. So if they see you doing good and there's actually results, you're getting better, you're feeling better, you're more grateful, you're more into like waking up every day and have like this amazing amount of energy. You got like your workout plan, you got your diet plan, you have so much free time after that and way more energy to actually do it. Then it's like, maybe this is Allah. I should take a look to what he's saying. So if you get for your family, just having your own food, having your own things, sticking to it day in, day out. I know
motivate them to try it. Or
families would support. Like I'm sure like your wife and kids would be happy to see you doing something that is better for you, be happy to see you doing something that is like more active approach toward like feeling better, getting healthier, staying there for them for longer, you know? So like regardless of their awareness of they don't understand what's going on with the foods and amounts, but when you know that and also at the head of the house, so you're going to be able to, guys, why are we eating this? Did you know what it contains? What you would be that person. So
you become the teacher to the.
So that's the whole thing. It's just not getting this idea to like, oh, I'm better than anybody. No, I want to duplicate that person in as many households because if they had that knowledge for themselves, they're gonna try to do for everybody they love, you know, the same thing. You know.
Okay. So just more for everybody, just not yourself. Like you do it for yourself, you figure it out, and you want to share it. You don't want to keep it to yourself.
I mean, if you know that, do you want your kids to have like that amount of carcinogen in their body?
Of course not. Yeah, you want them to be healthy and happy.
Just a fact. You know?
So if you can learn it yourself and apply it to them, and then they apply it to other people. And
more people are aware of this way of eating, this way of life, this way of giving love, this way of like. I'm not scarcity. Like if I didn't get that and they get it, like so what?
Okay.
You know, good for them.
So it's just really, you really got to change your mentality, and then it's like everything else will kind of follow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well,
that's a beautiful.
That's
part.
Something I need to work on, and
we can do a lot of help.
I could get some feedback from you for sure.
Yeah. We can do that. The whole thing. We can start from scratch, and it's beautiful because. Everything we need to be grateful, we have it already right now. And also like we have the most amazing capabilities to do what we want right now, you know, and like people would say like I had to do this or I have to do this to get this. It's like, no, man, you have everything you need right now.
Right. Stop chasing everything. Okay.
And it's like that took a while for me to understand because I was more like, how could they say that? How could they disrespect like that? How could they talk like that? How? Because you're in the past, right? You're looking from the ego perspective. And ego does not accept loss.
Right.
That's also another fact that the ego would never accept loss. It's insane.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty much helping myself through helping other people getting better because that feeds into like, yes, I'm giving that knowledge, that love, that attention. People are doing better, great and better. They're getting that knowledge. They're spreading it around to everybody they love because that's just who they are.
Okay.
You know, at the beginning, they would say, just, come on. Yeah. You know, starting was just like Doritos. Is it really bad? Or like, but for you to understand what stuff is in what, it will be easier for you to have your own like parameter and guidance and what kind of food you eat without even a program, without even somebody to motivate you, without even because you understood how it works.
Right.
It's so easy, but because it's so flooded with so false information or sugar companies paying scientists to have this, you know, different results and stuff, and like they say grains is healthier than meat. Right. So it's just like there's been a different amounts. People are confused about health, which is weird.
Right. Because they always change the rules and change the facts. Yeah, they're like, oh, you're supposed to eat this much protein. Oh, no, those eggs are bad for you. And then the next thing you know, eggs are good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to really figure it out for yourself. And if it works, then that's the main thing. Like,
yeah. Sustainable approach.
Yeah, you can't do fad diets. Like, you got to just...
I mean, we've been in the same position. You know, we go through it so many times that you do the fad diet, you gain back the weight. You do the fad diet, you gain back the weight. It was like, dude, I'm sick of this. It's like, because there is no concept behind it.
Right.
You know, you want to just lose weight. You're not looking at your body, at your mentality, at like what makes you feel happier and better to perform every day and have better potential and better outcome. There's no one in talk about that. It's like, oh, you can get this diet, you can have abs in 12 months, and then after that, most people either gain the weight or feel so depressed because they're taking low calories. It's like, that really is not a diet, though.
Right. Yeah, you want something that you can live with, like yes, long term, and not just short term and lose it, gain it back or whatever. So
longevity.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, that makes sense.
Though, but what?
Yeah, lots to learn, lots to think about.
Approach, different approach, different beliefs. You know, paradigm shift. It doesn't have to all happen at once.
Right. That's the other thing too. Yeah, you try to do everything at once. You just make yourself crazy. Like you got to do a little thing one at a time until you like build up to it. And because you try to change your whole life all at once.
Sustainable.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
I think it was like a good quote is like people trying to add fitness to fix their life as like, well, it doesn't really work that way. You cannot just get a broken system and add like something good and think it's gonna work.
Right.
It has to be like completely revamped. You have to change the sleep pattern. You have to wake up early. You have to do that work. You have to be in that mentality. You have to do. So to reach that is not also that simple because there has to be that motivated part of you doing something. You're working out. You're intentionally looking for what kind of food to eat. You're trying to practice meditation. You're trying to practice different concepts and theories of ways for people to express and show love. Also wanted to ask you, what is like when you're like completely in that place where you're like thinking there's no hope or something? What is the things that pull you out the most, you know?
I never get like that, like
that's good.
So deeply like dark place, anything like that.
Or less motivated, I would say.
Yeah, just less motivated. I think it's just being lazy. Like I have all the tools and I know like what needs to be done, and just don't do it. You know, it's easier to be the way that you've always been.
Correct.
You know, and so it's just you have to change that whole mentality. Like just mostly what you're going to eat, because you know, if you're just bored, you're going to eat something, or if you're driving around, you're going to go to the store and you're going to get something that's bad. And it's like you have to think about what you're putting in your body, because it's easy to not to just get whatever and any kind of garbage and eat it, and then you, like you said, you feel happy for a minute, or you get you get energy for a minute, but it's not the right energy, like not sustainable. So I think just having to think about what you're doing and why you're doing it, like that's the hard thing. Wow. So but maybe like you said, have a plan, like have a meal plan and a workout plan. If you have it written down, now you're going to do it. Like
it's on the app now.
You could just say, well, this thing says I got to go do this, and it could be like your little boss.
And also having this kind of connection with your trainer, with the person with the better knowledge, with the person trying to guide you. That's what I'm saying is just during this program, I'm doing like, for the first 6 weeks, if you follow everything to the point, there's going to be like, like a consultation every like 1 or 2 weeks, you know, to see where your head's at. Because because you can, it's like body, mind, and soul. So you have to master the body. Then we're going to be able to speak about the mind a little bit. And then once we reach both, then we're going to be able to talk about the mentality. It's like a process kind of thing. But also not understand, because we know all the good information, right? And like not practicing is like we can't find the reasoning. But like, no, man, this is not how you feel better, how you do better, how like you're more of an healthy, energy, active approach towards life. You know, this hypes you up. It's just not the optimal thing for you. And then you go throughout like the whole longevity, the whole arthritis, the whole pain, the whole metabolic disorders that we're living with, and it's insurmountable out of there. So it just kind of. You have to really take it one thing at a time, because otherwise you just talk yourself out of it. Like, oh, just forget it, I'll just stay the same. Like, Yeah, the familiarity of comfort zone is so dangerous.
Yes, yeah. You get very comfortable and you just leave it that way. So
That's why people stay in toxic situations.
Yeah, you got to break out of it and do something different. Okay,
yeah, because if you're comfortable, if you're not tired, the body is meant to be used. So you're supposed to be tired, but in order for you to fulfill what you want to, you have to keep that optimal, right? So because the message in this realm or this life or this thing is just be able to have the body as functional as possible to do its like mission or goal or idea or like helping or initiating or making difference in the way of thought. But at the same time, if you don't have the body, then the mind gonna be easily falling back, and then the kind of awareness that you're not only that body would be so difficult because that's how we identify ourselves, with the animal part, which is weird.
Yeah. So no, it all makes sense. It's just you got to get going in the right direction. Like you just have to start somewhere, and like you said, it doesn't take that long to make a new habit. Like,
it's 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, so if you just start doing it and try to stay the consistency is the hardest thing I think for me. That's like it's easy to fall off. Like obviously you see people like drugs or alcohol or something. It's very easy to fall back to where they were. To change it and to keep it changed is the most difficult thing, I think. So, but having either like an amp or a person to check on you and say, hey, are you all right? Are you still eating right? Are you still working out or something like that? Then you have to, they would catch you if you're trying to cheat or like you're trying to.
And it has to come from the point is like, so when someone try to say something bad or like try to harm you or hurt you, I'm just going to start with there first. So the normal reaction is just to be like defensive, is like, how the hell you can do that? Who are you talking to?
Oh, right. Yeah.
But if you just took the approach is like, are you doing good, bro? Because it can be this person like screaming help, of course, if he emitting that negative energy, that means he doesn't love himself. It means maybe he's in distress. Maybe he doesn't know how to communicate that way, right?
So they just lash out.
So like microaggressions and stuff like that. So for the person who's trying to do that is like, no, we got to look at this differently then. So are you right? Like, no, it's like, what's going on? What's keeping you? What's 1, 2, 3, 4? And we go through this one at a time and just trying to drill the information that this is really not who you are. This is what you think you are, and or like this concept of understanding that you are only that body, only that being is just completely false because you're way more better and bigger and more powerful than this. We're eternal beings. And I mean, it just here for like this realm of earth, understanding what's going on, and just there has to be a way. Believe it or not, we came here because we can learn a lot more through emotions, guidance. So if you feel good, you'll learn more. But also if you feel bad, that's why the whole thing is like fear and negative and energy and stuff like that. It just pretty much control most people, and that's what mostly publicized because they don't want you to, the idea of you doing something on your own, loving yourself and loving the community around you. It's just, less profitable to some people, and that's the whole idea of awareness too. It's just like, where does this started? And the first, why are you afraid? You know?
Yeah. There's a lot to think about, for sure.
And a lot to do.
Yeah.
And a lot to do for sure, man.
Oh, but actually, I have to go.
You have to go. Very good to see you, Miss Brian. Yeah, it's been a good chat. And we'll definitely catch up. 100%.
Yeah, I would 100%. Like continue on.
And we can see like what is the second interview after some good training and guided.
Let's come back and report what I learned.
And like we can even see the difference in how you feel and like the way you can practice and stuff.
Okay.
Very nice seeing you, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Good.
See you next one.